I want to thank Tim Cook. He's a great man, a visionary, a businessman, just about every quality he can have other than athleticism. I don't know about that. I'm looking at him. I'm not 100% sure.
This is Justin. The Apple CEO, Tim Cook, lost it after South Park humiliated him on TV. The humiliation was so sharp it turned Apple's quiet leader into a punchline, leaving everyone asking the same thing. Did South Park just expose the side of Tim Cook Apple never wanted us to see?
Mr. President, your ideas for the tech industry are so innovative, and you definitely do not have a small penis.
Thanks, yeah.
Please accept this gift on behalf of Apple.
The episode throws viewers straight into a surreal scene where Trump sits at the center of attention, while CEOs and world leaders shuffle in one by one, each clutching over-the-top gifts meant to win his favor. It feels less like political diplomacy and more like a twisted reality show where billionaires compete to outdo each other with extravagant offerings.
Hey, Satan! Look at what some dipshit tech CEO gave me. I was thinking maybe we could try to shove it up your ass.
Hello? Yeah, I'm in a relationship with someone and I really need to find a way out of it.
When it's Tim Cook's turn, the satire cuts especially deep. Cook, known in real life for his quiet diplomacy and careful language, steps forward with a sleek Apple plaque. The design is understated, almost humble, compared to the chaos surrounding him. But before he even gets a chance to hand it over, he delivers an awkward line of flattery. Mr. President, your ideas for the tech industry are so innovative, and you definitely do not have a small penis. The delivery is classic South Park, absurd, blunt, and designed to instantly strip away any dignity. Trump barely acknowledges Cook before brushing him aside, mocking his attempt at diplomacy and shifting the spotlight back to louder, flashier billionaires. What makes this scene sting is how closely it mirrors real events. In reality, Tim Cook found himself navigating Trump's demands for Apple to move more manufacturing into the United States. He announced billions in investments, but stopped short of the one thing Trump wanted most: a fully made in America iPhone. South Park exaggerates this balancing act by turning Cook's corporate diplomacy into sheer desperation. Instead of appearing calm and in control, he looks like a nervous school kid caught in a circus he can't escape. His carefully polished corporate image gets flipped upside down, and that contrast makes the parody land perfectly. If Tim Cook's humiliation wasn't enough, South Park takes the satire even further by transforming the White House into what can only be described as a grotesque gift parade. The imagery is unforgettable. CEOs, billionaires, and world leaders march into the Oval Office like contestants on a bizarre game show, each one desperate to outshine the last. Their goal isn't to solve global problems or negotiate policy, it's simply to keep Trump smiling. The absurdity lies in the escalation, as every gift becomes more over the top than the one before it. Tim Cook's appearance in Sycophancy might be one of South Park's most savage takedowns of a tech CEO yet. On paper, Cook should have stood out. He arrives at the White House with a carefully crafted Apple plaque meant to symbolize the company's US investments and its balance between politics and business. Apple has always tried to project itself as above the noise, calm, cautious, and neutral, but the show tears that image apart in seconds. Instead of being treated with respect, Cook's gesture becomes the center of humiliation. He delivers his line of over-the-top flattery, gets brushed aside almost instantly, and watches as louder, flashier billionaires steal the spotlight with ridiculous gifts. The real twist comes later, when Trump carries the Apple plaque off to his private bedroom with Satan, turning it into an actual punchline. Literally, what began as Cook's symbol of influence ends up as the butt of a crude joke, and fans quickly labeled it one of the wildest and most shocking twists of the season. The symbolism is obvious. Even Apple, with all its power and prestige, isn't immune from being dragged through the mud when politics and ego collide. This works so well as satire because it plays off Cook's real leadership style. Unlike Steve Jobs, who was known for his charisma and boldness, Cook has built his reputation on quiet diplomacy and careful decision-making. Apple under his leadership is cautious, steady, and always seeking to stay just neutral enough to avoid political blowback while still protecting its business interests. South Park twists that into pure comedy by showing what happens when careful neutrality meets a circus of power. Instead of coming across as the steady hand of Apple, Cook looks timid, awkward, and ultimately powerless.
Ah, thanks, yeah.
Please accept this gift on behalf of Apple.
Next!
While Tim Cook is being dragged through the mud at the White House, another subplot unfolds that takes aim at the tech industry's biggest obsession right now, artificial intelligence. Randy Marsh, always the character who finds himself swept up in the latest trend, decides to reinvent Tegrity Farms as Tegrity AI. Suddenly, his cannabis company is no longer just about weed. It's about being an AI-powered marijuana platform for global solutions. The words are ridiculous, the pitch is chaotic, and the scene captures perfectly how companies throw around buzzwords to sound cutting edge, even when they have no idea what they're doing. Randy's obsession spirals out of control as he spouts jargon about algorithms, platforms, and innovation, all while microdosing ketamine in the name of expanding his mind. It's South Park at its sharpest, mocking the way real tech giants scramble to stay ahead in the AI race. Every major company, Apple included, has been under pressure to position itself as a leader in AI. But behind the polished press releases and carefully staged events, there's a real sense of chaos, an industry chasing something it doesn't fully understand. Randy's meltdown is an exaggerated mirror of that desperation.
If Mr. President Trump is Satan, and I'm not saying if he is or he isn't, I'm just kind of hoping he is, he mostly likely is coming in from the back. Now, Satan has a pretty large physical presence, so we're pretty sure President Trump would have to get on top of him.
What makes this subplot so clever is how it connects back to Cook's humiliation. On one side, you have Cook, the careful, cautious CEO, trying to maintain Apple's polished image in front of political power. On the other, you have Randy, a reckless parody of the tech world's obsession with staying relevant no matter the cost. Both are trapped in the same race for influence. Cook in the political arena, Randy in the technological one. One bends too far to politics, the other loses himself to hype. The contrast is hilarious, but it also shows how even the biggest players aren't really in control. South Park uses Randy's absurd AI company to point out a truth the industry doesn't want to admit. Much of the AI gold rush is about appearances. Companies are terrified of being left behind, so they slap AI on everything, whether it makes sense or not. Apple itself has been criticized for being slower than rivals like Google and Microsoft in the AI space, which makes the subplot land even harder. Randy's nonsense pitch about transforming insights from the cannabis ecosystem into global action feels ridiculous, but it's not far from the kind of vague promises we hear in real corporate announcements.
Satan? Why are you so sad?
The second South Park aired Tim Cook's cameo, the internet went into overdrive. Fans clipped the moment of him nervously praising Trump, holding his polished Apple plaque, and instantly it started trending across every major platform. Twitter was filled with side-by-side memes comparing Cook to an awkward intern, while TikTok users looped his line about Trump's not small penis into parody songs and lip syncs. Reddit threads blew up with debates, some calling it the sharpest parody of the season. Others insisting it was one of the most brutal character assassinations the show has pulled in years. Whatever side people were on, one thing was clear: Cook's appearance had stolen the spotlight, and South Park once again had the internet eating out of its hands. What made the moment so viral is how well it punctured Apple's carefully managed image. For decades, Apple has prided itself on looking untouchable: polished hardware, sleek marketing, and a CEO who embodies calm control. Tim Cook inherited Steve Jobs' empire and built it into one of the most valuable companies in the world by projecting stability. But South Park flipped that persona in seconds, reducing Cook to a jittery participant in a White House circus. The contrast between Apple's real-world aura of confidence and its on-screen collapse into chaos was irresistible for meme culture. It was a perfect storm: a powerful CEO, a global brand, and a moment of pure humiliation exaggerated just enough to feel uncomfortably real.
No, I'm not Satan!
Online debates stretched beyond comedy into genuine cultural critique. Some fans praise South Park for exposing how tech giants often play along with political power, no matter how humiliating it gets. They saw Cook's plaque as a symbol of Apple's attempts to stay neutral while still protecting its business interests, a balancing act that South Park turned into slapstick. Others argued that the writers went too far, that singling out Cook was unfair when other CEOs like Zuckerberg or Musk have shown far more flamboyant sycophancy in real life. But that's part of what makes satire sting. By exaggerating Cook's diplomacy into desperation, South Park sparked a conversation about how much tech leaders bend when politics demand their loyalty.